Hi, I'm Janet from Chez Les Fleur podcast, and this is the group of people that we talk to, women in business, husbands and wives in small business, everything that a small business can throw at you, we're here to talk about. And today we have with us Linda Brown, and she is going to talk to us about I Pinky Swear. And I know what you're thinking. What does that mean? But we're going to talk to her. So if you're interested in the trials and tribulations or how people got to where they are, this is the podcast for you. So, Linda, welcome. Thank you for being with us today. It's always good to meet somebody new and hear their story. So, I pinky swear. Tell me about that.
So September 1st, 2015, I was a social worker going to see a client. I was on my motorcycle because one of the staff had locked the keys in the van. So I was heading out to a campsite in Lakefield, and another staff member was following behind too, as we had a bunch of stuff to deal with. So I was on my way out, staff was following behind, and I was riding and I was going around a corner. And as I was going around the next curve, a car was coming up, and I noticed that they weren't taking the curve and their car was coming into my lane. So as I was coming around, I lifted my bike up and went as far as I could to the other side of my lane against the gravel, and they hit me. And as they hit me, they crushed my leg, severed my foot off of my body, and ended up being airlifted to Sunnybrook Hospital. My nickname is Pinky, so that's where Pinky comes in. I have a pink motorcycle. So it was in Sunnybrook Hospital for a couple of months. They reattached my foot. They put a whole ton of metal in my body. Um, I was in a wheelchair for a long time, had to learn how to walk again, had to learn how to do a lot of stuff in life again. While I was in the hospital, I was hit by obviously a distracted driver. Um, I had a bunch of friends that started a campaign with me that had helped me get this up and going to raise awareness about safe driving. So a lot of people were concerned and wanted to help me raise awareness. So it took off like wildflower, like it just bloomed. So that's where I pinky swear came in. A friend of mine in Georgia said that he pinky swears that he wasn't going to um, drive distracted, and that caught on really quickly. And from the hospital bed, it started, and I had media, Toronto Sun, Toronto Star, everybody right in Sunnybrook Hospital interviewing me. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah, that didn't take very long at all. So,
So, how do you promote this? Like, what kind of things do you do?
so this is now this has been 10 years now, right?
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of different things, and including as of this weekend, it's all changed yet again. So I'll get into that one as we go through the 10 years.
Okay.
So over the years, there's been a lot of different things. So I have done things like go to different schools and speak about different things, talk to people about my experiences in the hospital, what I've gone through. I assist people who are just starting their journey, people who have recently been in an accident and are trying to process everything. It's not easy. This whole system is not easy. When you've been in an accident and you're trying to navigate um, everything that, like insurance and lawyers and rehab and your own mental health, because your life changes. There's nothing different. Like just being able to like sit, even just sit up or even roll over. There was one point in the hospital where they were taking this board and they put this board under me to flip me over and put me in the other bed. I had 15 surgeries right away. Like, so they would flip me from one on a board to put me onto another bed, and it hurts. So the one day I'm like, oh, can I just move myself over to the next bed? Because I thought I could just roll over and get into the next bed. I didn't have the strength. There was no
Oh,
strength. I could not, I couldn't even move my body like onto my side. I thought I could. but I couldn't. I had no strength to roll. So there's just so much that your mind has to process, and you got to keep that pause. You have to try to keep positive while you're sitting here thinking, I can't even roll over in bed. So how am I going to walk again? How am I going to do this again? How am I going to ride a motorcycle again? How am I going to, how am I going to pick up my child? Because I had young children still. So all of this stuff that goes through your head is very hard to try to stay positive. So when I see people that are just starting their journey and I watch them starting to go through that dark hole, I'll go and meet with them and just try to help them get out of that hole before they get in too deep. Because once you get in too deep, it's really hard to get out.
Yeah.
So there's one. Then I did in 2019, with the help of a lot of amazing people, I did a national tour on my motorcycle. So I rode my bike to every Harley-Davidson dealership in all of Canada. So that took 3 months.
Yeah.
I also included, I had to go through Ohio, like go through the states. So we started in Ontario, went up to Northern Ontario, and we did like the northern parts of the provinces. And then we got to BC, and then we went down to the lower BC, and then we did the southern parts of the provinces, and then went through the states because of a sponsor in Ohio, Fitzgerald Motorsports. And then they maintained my bike. They did the oil changes, did all the maintenance. I had a brake light that went out, so they took care of that. There used to be Longley Harley Davidsons in Peterborough. They took care of a lot of stuff. He did changed my tires, made sure everything on the bike was good and safe. And then I continued and did the East Coast. And then I came back.
Wow. What an
Yeah,
adventure.
it was hard. It was hard, but it was a lot of work. But during it, there was people who I have the one amazing story that I remember, and I will never forget. There was a woman in Edmonton, and I got to Edmonton late on one night, the night before they were having an event, and they were having that event based on me being there on this day and time. So I had to make sure we landed there on that day and time. So I got there the night before, and we had a camper trailer that Camping in Style had donated to us. So we pulled in, and the night before, and we plugged into the dealership, and they had Wi-Fi and everything like that. So all these dealerships were absolutely amazing with us. And the owner of the dealership came up to me and he told me the story about this individual who was waiting for us. So she was a rider and she had her daughter with her. And they were in an accident and her daughter was killed.
Oh boy.
And yes, and she wanted to ride again, but she was terrified. And riding was just like me, riding was a passion of hers, where she would get on the bike, and if you've ever ridden, you would get on the bike and you would feel that freedom and the wind in your face and you could breathe, and it was just like just you're at peace, like your whole soul's at peace. You just get on the highway and you could smell the smells and you could feel the warmth of the sun and just everything. You just have all that peace and have all that love. And her daughter loved it too. Her daughter was older, and not she wasn't a young girl, she was older, and she loved it too. And it was just something that they just loved to do together. And this woman just wanted to meet with me and wanted to talk with me, and she was terrified and she was scared. As soon as she got there, I didn't know what this girl, who this was or what she looked like. I had no idea. But that next day, when I was at the event, when the event started, and I seen this lady starting to walk up to me, I already knew who she was because of her facial expressions when she seen me. And she started crying before she even could talk. So I pulled her to the back and we went to the back and we started talking. We talked for a good hour, and just listening to her and just talking to her and um, processing everything with her was just it was amazing just to see how she was, and just you just listen, just like all you have to do is just listen and just let this person let everything off of her chest and just talk. And all she wanted to do is tell me her story and have somebody listen to her. And a lot
That
of people,
understood her story,
yes, that understood.
that understood her story.
Right.
And
Yeah,
that's what you brought. Anyway,
yeah,
sorry.
exactly. No, yeah, absolutely. And that's it. Because a lot of people judge. A lot of people are judgmental. So what do you mean you're going to get back on the bike? Like you could have died. Okay, if I and I use this analogy all the time. I could have been walking down the street, going for a walk, and I would have been killed. Like you could have been in a car and you could have been killed. So I remember telling somebody in the hospital after them telling me, like, why are you getting back on a bike again? I said, I could have been going for a walk and I could have been killed. And literally, somebody was in the hallway and I asked the nurse, I said, are they okay? They're really upset. And I was always worried about other people, right? And they said it was a husband and wife and they went for a walk after dinner and she was hit by a car going for a walk. And that's why she was there. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. If something's going to happen, it's just going to happen. So you can't live your life worried about what is going to happen. If you want to do something, you need to be safe about it. You always have
Right.
to be safe. You always have to be responsible. You always have to be safe. But you need to be able to do what you want to do and live your life. But you can't live your life scared and you can't live your life worried about what other people are going to think. So I got a message, like by the end of that summer, I got a message from this woman. She got on my social media, on my Facebook, and she sent me a message saying, I went for a ride and I took my daughter's ashes and we went to our special spot. And I feel like everything's been lifted from me. And,
Beautiful.
out of that whole tour and everything, I met so many amazing people, so many wonderful people. That was one of my most memorable moments because that woman made that conversation was just such a huge difference in her life. Just
Yeah,
just that
you changed her life.
just listening and just letting her know it's okay. It's okay to be scared. It's okay. We all are. And I remember when I first got back on the bike, my bike was at Longley Harley-Davidson's, and Bob was the owner, Bob Longley. He said to me, he brought the bike out and it was in the dealership. And I had, my mama, I call her mama, they had the trailer and we're getting it onto the trailer. It was still cold out. He goes, you're not taking this bike out. You need to ride it out. And I'm like, I haven't ridden yet since my accident. Like I haven't. He goes, you're in first gear, dear. You need to ride it out. I know how you're feeling right now because he was in an accident too. So I'm like, oh, and I'm like looking at him like, what? You want to make me ride it out right now? I haven't been on a bike yet. Like I'm still using canes and walkers. I'm like, I'm using assisted devices. He goes, you can do it. You can do it. We're all here for you right now. So he had his staff there and I had my family there. I'm like, okay. So I get on the bike and I sit on it and I had to I got my leg up and got it into first gear, took a deep breath, and I rolled it out and I felt the wind and I felt the sun and I just felt the bike and I rolled it out and started going and I went around the parking lot a little bit and then I got it onto the trailer and then they loaded it, like they locked it in for me. And then he goes, how did that feel? I'm like, it felt like I wanted to keep going.
Beautiful.
I
And you
wanted to
did.
go. And
And you
yeah.
did.
Mhm. So that was so huge. That was just the beginning of all of it. It's like people don't realize that, you know, yes, I was in a bike accident. It wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. I was hit by somebody else. If I was in my car, it would have been my car door that was hit. I could have been pinched in there. It could have been a very different situation. So my bike went one way, I was thrown down the road. So I was flip-flopping. But if I was in my car, I could have been pinched. It could have been a different situation, right? Like you never know. Everything's good. Everything would have been different. If I was walking down the street, it would have been yet a different situation again. Who knows? You never know. There's always ifs, ands, and buts. You just don't know.
So true.
Yes.
So true.
So now we're going to fast forward. I don't know how much time you have here. So now we fast forward and I use, as you know, with David, I am a musician. So I spend a lot of time using my voice. And I find that everywhere I go, I play music. And I talk to people and tell, because they see that I hobble, because they say, oh, you must got a sore hip, or you're sitting too long. Or, so I'm like, no, I have one foot. And then they look at me like, wait, what? So then I explain my story, and then I tell them and let them know on the microphone as I'm playing music and do songs. And at Treblecock Studios, we did a video, Zombie, with Pinky and the Van Hultren Trio, and it's all about distracted driving. So there's a music video, and it was recorded there at Treblecock Studios. And if you look at it, it's all about distracted driving. And I'm doing a new project now, Pinky and Me. And it's a duet with Mark Eakins and I. Mark Eakins, M-E, Pinky, me. And we just play music together. And then as we play, if somebody says something, I tell them, at the end of the night, drive safe. And we do things in the communities and travel all over. And yeah, that's what we do. Use the microphones, use our voices. So.
And music is such a communicator, isn't it?
It sure is.
Yeah,
sure
it really, makes the world go round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you've got quite a story, and I have to say that I'm sure a lot of your success in what you've done since your accident has been supported by your social work background.
Yes.
Because
yes.
you were already in a listening, helping, serving kind of profession, that you've been able to take that multiple steps further.
You just care about people, right? Like when you care about people, you just want to do more to help others. So, yeah.
Yes, very true. Very true. Well, congratulations on everything you're accomplishing and are going to accomplish, because,
I'm not done yet.
Exactly. I can tell by talking to you. You're not done yet. You got
Many years
lots
ahead
more.
of me.
Yeah, you got lots more tricks up your sleeve. Anyway, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us. What we like to do at the end of our podcast is some rapid fire questions. So
Okay.
if you're on for that, we've got some questions for you.
Okay. Shoot.
Okay, so here we go. Socks or slippers?
Slippers.
Automatic or stick?
Prefer stick, but one foot makes it hard.
Yeah, through that. Pie or cake?
Pie.
I know the answer to the next one, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Harley or Honda?
Harley.
Latte or hot chocolate?
Latte.
Beautiful. Linda, thank you so much for being with us. What an amazing story, and so uplifting and so motivational. And like I said earlier, I know you've got lots more tricks up your sleeve, and we're looking forward to seeing what those tricks are, because they're going to be good.
Thank you.
Well, great having you with us.
Thank you. Thank you, Swear.
If you're watching Chez Les Fleur for the first time, we welcome you. If you are a returning visitor, thank you for joining us again. We love to talk to women about their business adventures, and I'm sure you love to hear about them too. So thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.